Hey everyone, Dr. Phil Blanc here. Thanks so much for joining. Just as the title says, why are heaven sent gifts the best? If you just are trying to get in that holiday spirit, boy, do I have a great story for you. Hopefully, it warms your hearts. And, if you're that type of person who doesn't believe in God and sometimes you're just wondering, does he even exist? This story is for you as well. Before we get into the content, if this is your first time coming here, before we get into the content, if this is your first time coming here, thanks so much for stopping by. My name is Dr. Phil Blanc. I am a board certified physician. I also go by the name of Dr. Clueless, and that's because a couple of years ago when we had our first child, boy, despite all of my medical education and training, I felt pretty clueless. And I thought it would be awesome to have a forum, a platform where clueless people could come together and share and hopefully be less clueless together. So if this sounds like something that you would be into and you'd want to get videos about life, something that you would be into and you'd want to get videos about life hacks, all that type of stuff, please feel free to subscribe. I'd welcome you subscribing to this channel, or just hit like if that sounds like something that you would like, or please share if this is something that you think other people would benefit from as well. So let's get into the content. So it is that holiday season, that gift giving season. We have Christmas coming up, Hanukkah coming up, we have Kwanzaa. And so last week I started a series about why heaven sent gifts are the best. And we identified three things about when God gives us a gift, why they're so special and why they are the best. So number one is often they come as surprises, and there's something that's special about the element of surprise that just adds to how exciting getting a gift is. And sometimes, when we get a surprise, it's kind of giving us insight that someone in their own time spent their time thinking about us. There's something about that we love. The second thing is when we get something from God, oh boy, is it like specifically for us. It's something that we really want. And it just hits the nail on the spot. Unlike that ugly sweater from the 80s that somebody broke out, like, to give you now. And it's like, what are we doing? Like, that's not something I asked for, right? So the second thing is like, unlike gift giving from people sometimes that don't know our preferences, God gives us what we want. And the first thing that I want to expand on today, the number one thing that's so special about when a gift comes from above, is that he gives us gifts even when we don't deserve it. And I gave the illustration that I was actually out on location at the mall about to get my daughter a gift for her upcoming birthday. And guess what? It did not have to do with if she was perfect, over the past year. She was not necessarily a perfect toddler, but it still didn't change the fact that I wanted to do something really wonderful for her. So with that, I have my own story that speaks to a few of these, but especially the last point, which is God, even in our imperfection, he still gives us good gifts. So once upon a time, this is story time, y'all. I was on the highway, right? And, I actually I'm part of the worship team at a church called Hillsong Church. If you're in the tri-state area, come check us out. And for me to get to Hillsong, so I have to drive a while, like over an hour. And so that puts me on the highway. So that means there's going to be tolls coming up, right? So unfortunately, I was not prepared for these tolls. Going there was cool because there was like one of the people in the booths that was able to, I had money. It's just that maybe I didn't have the specific coins or whatever. So thankfully, there was someone in the booth. I gave them my dollar bills and they were able to, give me change back. However, on the way back is where this story like gets crazy, right? Well, not crazy, but it just gets more interesting. So I am supposed to pay a toll, and it's only 50 cents, y'all. It's only 50 cents. But guess what? It's one of those tolls that don't got nobody. It doesn't have anybody in the toll booth. So you have to have that exact change. So I am looking, I don't have the exact change. And it's crazy because it's not that I don't have the money. I just don't have it in the right form. I have like a dollar bill. I don't have 50 cents. So I have to take an L, y'all, and I say, I'm gonna have to go through this easy pass, and although I have the money, I just don't have it in the coin form. I'm just gonna have to pay the penalty, whatever it is, the fine or whatever. I'm just gonna go through, and it's gonna stink because I know I'm gonna be billed for this thing, even if I have the money. I really technically have the money. So I go through, and fast forward weeks later, of course, guess what I get in the mail? Boom! This is what I get. It is a first notice of enforcement action. And let's just keep this 100, y'all. It is humbling when you get one of these notices. There's like no way out because it has your the picture of your car doing the deed, your license plate, all that stuff. And it's like, oh, and you know the craziest part? The craziest part is that the actual unpaid toll, it says, is 50 cents, and the administrative fee is $50. Are you serious right now? Like, I'm gonna have to pay $50.50 for something that initially only cost 50 cents. So I'm like, this is just, oh, this is what I was dreading, right? But I don't think I knew that it would be $50. What is that? That's like 10 times. I'm trying to do math real quick. Is that 10 or 100 times? Somebody help me out. 100 times the amount. 10 times would have been $5. This is 100 times the amount that initially cost, right? But at the end of the day, technically, y'all, if we had to, do it by the books, it was my fault. And I just have to pay up. So I go to the website. There's a website, and this is where it gets fun. I go to the website, and I'm about to, there's a way of paying it online, and I'm putting in my license plate, my information, so I can identify myself or whatever in the system, and it's like, there's no record of a violation for this information that you put in. I tried, y'all. I tried multiple times. I'm like, did I get the numbers wrong? Like in the wrong order? Okay. And it still wasn't. So I'm like, man, I gotta call now. I gotta call. So I call and I speak to this woman, right? And tune in, y'all. If you aren't listening to nothing else, listen to this part. I call up and I'm like, yeah, I need to pay this violation, blah blah blah. And they get my information, and let me tell you guys. So this is what happens. She says, this is what I'm gonna do. I'm going to what I can do is I can waive that administrative fee. And I'm like, hold up, because if I remember correctly, I don't even know if I had it, like I had to remember that I was like, wait, did she say the minute she said something like, will you be paying that? Yeah, she said, will you be paying this by your credit card, or will you put it on your Easy Pass? And I'm like, to put $50 on my Easy Pass, I just don't know if I'm gonna remember or whatever. I'm like, just put it on your credit card, on my credit card. And she's like, she says something, if I remember correctly, like, put 50, you want me to put the 50 cents on your credit card? And I'm like, wait, what? 50 cents? We're talking about $50 here. Stop playing with my emotions. And then she's like, well, what I can do is I can waive the administrative fee. And I was like, stop playing, because if I remember correctly, the administrative fee, not the actual like toll, is $50. She's about to waive the fee. And sure enough, it was waived. It was like I had never committed the infraction. And I just went on expressing my gratitude, telling her, you don't even understand. I mean, I had the money. So it was just a moment where, it was just a moment where it was a reflection. We're in the holiday spirit, and Christmas is celebrating. For those of you who celebrate or don't celebrate, I mean, historically, Christmas is based on this idea that God sent his son, Jesus, in the form of a baby to serve as a sacrifice on behalf of the sins of the world. And it's something that we don't deserve, but yet God had it, had the heart, had the kindness, the generosity, the grace to do this for us. It reminds me of that even though I was technically at fault, there was a way made where it was just forgiven, and it's like I never committed the infraction. One of the best parts of this story, I'm trying to get off the phone with this woman, about to tell my family, like, you got to listen to the story. But I say, what is your name? Because I want to say your name, when I want to show that, I want to respect someone who I'm talking to over the phone, someone who's doing a service for me. I don't want them to feel like they're just like a cog in the machine. I want them to feel like they're a human being. I'm like, what's your name? You know what her name was? Her name was Hope. Mic drop. That was an invisible mic, y'all. Her name was Hope. How hopeful is that? That for all of us, like wherever you come from, whatever your past is, whatever you've done, however 2018 went down for you, God has something special in store for all of us. And it's his son, Jesus, who we get to celebrate. And if you don't know him enough to celebrate, now is the time to know about him, maybe for the first time. And even if you're not ready for that, to just get in the holiday spirit and just love that this is a time when people are, generous and they're forgiving and they're kind. The rest of the year, they could be whatever else, but um, for this season, people's hearts are changed. And I hope that this changes your heart. I hope that this inspires you and encourages you for this holiday season. May God bless you. And please feel free to leave in the comment section. I would love to hear from you. Has there ever been a time where you got a pleasant surprise? You got something that maybe you didn't deserve. Are there ways that you see God actively showing that he exists in your life? I would love to hear those stories from you. So please comment, share, and subscribe if you'd be so kind as to do that. All right, take care, enjoy. Bye bye.